So if you are a Muslim in your 20s and you're feeling kind of lost, then I want you to watch this video because I'm going to share some insights that I think might be beneficial. So I'm still in my 20s, but I know what it feels like to feel lost, to feel like everything you're trying isn't working, to feel like you don't know what the right path is, to have a lot of uncertainty about the future. Maybe you're looking to get married. Maybe you're looking to start a new business because you're not making enough money. Maybe it's just a whole load of things. Right now, you're probably trying to potentially figure out what you really want to do in life, what you're actually good at. You feel like you're not really good at anything because you've not had enough chance to figure out what you're good at. And all of that can lead to a lot of analysis paralysis. And what that is where you have so many different options that you essentially don't choose anything because there are so many different things that you are confused about. There's so much uncertainty and you're trying to think your way out of the problem. But that is the problem. And the single best way that you can start to get out of this loop is simply by just trying something. I hear this time and time again. What business model do I need to start? What works? How long is it going to take? All of this kind of stuff. And what people are trying to get is certainty. But certainty isn't a thing that exists in this life. Nothing is guaranteed. You don't know what is going to work until you try it. And the longer you try to delay figuring out what actually works, the more you actually give yourself an increased feeling of uncertainty because you haven't taken action on anything. People who are successful, they don't have it all figured out before they try. They try and they fail a lot of times and then they figure it out and they make it work. If you are young, if you are in your 20s, and especially as a Muslim, you have all these goals and things you want to be able to achieve. You want to look after your family, I assume. You want to be able to, get married, make hijrah. You want to take care of your parents. These things are not small goals, they're big goals. Not everybody is able to achieve them. So you're trying to embark on a journey which most people don't actually achieve, which means you're going to have to start taking actions a bit differently to most people. And the best way to continue feeling lost is by not taking any action. You taking action on something is going to teach you a lot more about the thing than watching hundreds of videos about it. Because sure, it's good to do some research, but if you haven't taken action with that research, you're optimizing for the wrong thing. You will continue to feel lost. You will continue to feel like there's too much information. And what will happen is you'll give yourself something called like mental fatigue, almost like decision fatigue, where you don't actually know what to execute on because there's so many different things. There's so much information. But I started to really make some progress when I stopped thinking and started doing. I felt lost for such a long time. What's halal, what's haram? I don't know what to do, this, that, and the other. And it's like, you've got to pick something that is obviously halal. You can see other people doing well in it, and you just got to go all at it, right? You don't have to take the perfect next step, but you need to take a next step. You need to start walking the path, just like a mountain. If you look from the bottom right to the peak, you're going to overwhelm yourself. How am I going to do this? How long is this going to take? Am I going to get injured along the way? Do I have enough food? All of this kind of stuff. And it's like, you're going to overthink your way and you're never going to climb that mountain. All of these successful people, they don't have things figured out. They're just a bunch of idiots. Honestly, I know so many successful people now after being in this game for a little bit, Muslims as well. And I don't mean to insult them by calling them idiots, but what I mean by that is they're not smarter than anybody else. In fact, oftentimes they're really not like IQ smart. They're really not IQ smart. If you did an IQ test with a load of other people, they wouldn't score that high. You see it, but they just have this biased action. And that's how, when they take more action, they feel more confident because things will fail. Things will fail, and then a win. And it's like, oh, okay, so I had to do all of that stuff. And then I learned that if I did X, Y, and Z, it doesn't work. But if I do V, it works. Okay, that's a win. They get a big dopamine boost and they get a sense of confidence. And they just keep doing that over and over and over again. Whereas people like me in the past, I'd just be there thinking, I need to have everything figured out. I need to know how to do the perfect thing. I need to pick the perfect thing. But in reality, I was just wasting time. I was procrastinating. And that all adds to the feeling of being lost. Look, you are Muslim, right? What does it mean to have tawakkul? If you really think about it, tawakkul means that you put your trust in Allah, that Allah will take care of you. But what Allah wants to see from you is to tie your camel, is to actually take action. Because sitting there thinking about things will not change your situation. Get up, take action. What is the next thing that you could do? That is you, in a way, showing your tawakkul to Allah. That you have started to take action and you are trusting, putting your trust in Allah. I remember when I had to leave my job, that was not an easy decision. What I did, I think a lot of people would consider being quite risky and potentially even irresponsible. I had a wife, I had bills to pay, I didn't have a guaranteed role waiting for me, but I knew if I put my trust in Allah, I even have a video of this when I left my job. I have a video just showing, I don't know what I'm going to do, I don't know how this is going to work, but I know it's going to work. And I'm so glad I recorded that video, because that's just living proof that when you put your trust in Allah and you know that you're on a journey that is going to benefit you, and you know that the life that you have right now you don't like, so it's a no-brainer. For me, it was a no-brainer. And I'm not saying you have to quit your job, because I know people's risk profiles are different, but I would say take massive action, because you are feeling lost right now because you haven't taken enough action. These people who you see around you, especially, there's a lot of Muslims out there now, you know, people like me recording these videos being like, you know, how, you know, you can make money online and all this kind of stuff. And it looks like, you know, they have everything figured out. But in reality, they had to go through a load of failures. A lot of things did not work for them, and now they finally made it work because they just did not stop taking action. Remember this, you do not lose until you quit and stop taking action. You always have more time. If you're in your 20s, even 30s, you have so much going for you that you just don't need to stop taking action. Keep taking shots, you will get there. Put your trust in Allah, do more volume than anybody else, and that's just a winning formula. All of these people that you see that are successful, they are not special. The way they got out of their situations was by taking relentless action. They don't feel that lost anymore because they backed it up with action. Action gives clarity, and it removes that feeling of uncertainty, that horrible feeling of doubt that you have right now. I know it because I had it. So use this video to take big action, because nobody is more capable than you. You are a grown man. Get up, change your situation, do something about it, because time is ticking, and time in and of itself is a blessing from Allah. Youth is a blessing from Allah. How will you use it? Ask yourself that question. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.